The title of my talk today is GPS. I know that many of you drive and are very grateful to have a GPS. It's a guidance system, and it helps you get where you want to go in a car or a truck or whatever it is. Some people like them immensely, like myself. Some people don't like them at all. Some people say, I know how to get someplace, or I want to use the old method that I've always used before. And that method for me was always drive around until you finally have to stop at a gas station or someplace and ask somebody for directions. And I did that for years and years, usually with somebody in the car saying, pull over, pull over, pull over, with me saying, in a minute I will, as I looked around for something, some kind of landmark or something. Well, GPSs eliminate all that. They get right to the source of the problem. They help you get to where you need to go. That works in the physical world, but what about in the spiritual world? Do we have with us some kind of device or mechanism that helps us get where we're going? A GPS, going places spiritually. Do we have that within us? The answer, of course, is yes, we do. We do have that within us. But accessing it sometimes seems to be sort of difficult for us. We're not actually able to do this when we really need it or when we want to. It seems to be something that keeps us from being all that we know we truly are. And it's difficult for us because we don't get priorities straight. We don't have that within us. We don't get our priorities straight. We fall into the habit of believing that we are a human being trying to have a spiritual experience. And we forget what Teilhard de Chardin taught so long ago, that we are first of all and mostly spiritual beings having an earthly experience. When we make that shift in consciousness, something changes greatly. Our priorities. It changes for us so that we are able once again to realize that we're not separated. We're connected. We always have been. We've always had something within us that can guide us to where we want to be spiritually. That requires that we do some preparation work. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to be spiritual, and just let it happen like that. It'd be great if it were, but it requires a little bit of doing in order to get to the place where we can function in being. The first thing that's required, I think, is for us to get physical stamina. Get physical stamina. Why? Because often when we want to go to that spiritual place within us, one of two things happens. Either a little voice inside us says, you know, I'm really too tired to mess with that right now. I don't really think that that's important. We've gotten our priorities out of order again, and I'm just too tired. I don't really want to do that. Or we attempt to do it, and we fall asleep because we don't have the physical stamina. Creating physical stamina is very important. Another thing that's important in physical stamina that I just mentioned, this falling asleep thing, is get plenty of sleep. Treat your body correctly. Get to a place that when you settle down and quiet yourself, the immediate need of sleep doesn't take over. That becomes the priority for you once again. So in order for us to get our spiritual priorities in order, we have to be in a place where we are physically rested. Once we're rested and we have the stamina within us by having done exercise, taking care of our bodies properly, then it becomes much easier for us to control our minds. Much easier for us to do that. Here's something that I see in myself, and I've tried to change that, and it seems to be working for me. Greet people smiling. I think what I used to do, and I think some people still do this, is they carry a little cloud with them above their heads, and they frown. They do this because they think it makes them look important or needy. Or needy. You know, I learned a long time ago that needy people tend to stay needy. I found that out sort of the hard way. I'll give you a little example in my own life. When I was becoming a studio singer in Nashville, that's somebody who sings background on songs or sings lead on demonstrations of songs, who does things like that and becomes a studio singer. Or also doing commercials, which I did lots and lots of commercials back when I was singing in Nashville. I would go from studio to studio every day, and I would just kind of hang out. I would be there thinking, I'll let them know I'm available and they'll use me. What I didn't realize, and it finally dawned on me one day, is I am allowing all of these people to see what I'm not doing. I'm not working. I am a singer, and I tell them I am a singer, but they're looking at me and saying, well, if you're a singer, what are you doing sitting here in the studio? Why are you just sitting here in the lobby, drinking coffee, shooting the bull? Why are you doing that? It finally dawned on me. They know what I'm not doing. I need to change that. So I went away. That doesn't mean that I immediately started working. What I did is I just quit showing up. I did that for several weeks. Then I started showing up again. And they started saying to me, where have you been? Well, I wasn't exactly spiritually on track at that time in my life, but I was trying to get a career going. And I said, I've been busy. I've been really busy. You have? Wow, yeah. Been working a lot. Just haven't had time to come by. Immediately, in all of these studios, I started getting work. Why? Because people like to work with people that work a lot. People that are getting experience, people that are using their talent. And they started hiring me. I found that out sort of the hard way. But what I had done was I quit being needy. I started smiling. I started drawing to me experiences of positivity because I had a smile on my face, and it allowed other people to want that smile. Hey, this guy's positive. Let's use him. Let's work with him. Positivity is contagious. It really is. Smiling is contagious too. Even today, as I'm driving around and I see somebody as they pass me, or I'm walking in Costco or wherever I might be, I try to keep a smile on my face so that other people, when they look up from whatever they're doing, they're busy and they look up, oh, hi. They see me and they smile. And I feel like I've accomplished something. I've accomplished something by getting people smiling and getting them positive. Another thing is giving positive suggestions. GPS, giving positive suggestions, giving positive statements, encouraging people, giving positive statements. You look really good today. I'm thinking that you must be in a great mood because you just look like you're holding some wonderful secret inside yourself. You want to share it with me? Getting people positive by using positive statements, positive suggestions, drawing out of them their own positivity, which may be lying dormant. Here's another person that needs to be given positive suggestions. Yourself. Give positive suggestions and encouragement to yourself at every turn. You're doing good today. You're looking good today. You're feeling good, and you're drawing to yourself. Drawing to yourself those things that you need in order to get in this place where you stay in a spiritual place in your life. This one I kind of alluded to earlier, and I said this, when we try to get here, we often fall asleep, and it's this: getting perfectly still. Allowing our minds, our bodies to still. When this happens and we reach that perfectly still place, it's very much, as been stated by many yogis, they say, you get there and something just sort of clicks. And it's as though you've opened your mind up to a different reality. When that happens, power is released. Not to you for your personal use, but it's power that is released from you that has been lying there dormant. Now it's available once again. Not only for you to use, but for the world to use and to see coming through you. You become a channel. You become a hollow reed through which this energy is now flowing, this spiritual energy. But it can only happen when we can still our minds, when we can still ourselves and reach that place within where this power then can operate. You know, there's a phrase in the Bible that says this. It says, and I'm not sure exactly where it is anymore, but I do remember it, and I've remembered it for a long time. It starts this way, and this is part of the quote. The Holy Spirit says, I will contend with thee for a time, and then I will contend with thee no more. Now, the preaching of that has always been, you're only going to get so many chances to be saved, to get it right. Because the Holy Spirit is urging you and trying to convict you to come forward, get baptized, and all those other things. And if you don't do it now, the time will come when the Holy Spirit will give up on you. But that never can happen. Holy Spirit doesn't give up because that would require separation. Separation is impossible and doesn't truly exist in spiritual terms. What that means, I will contend with thee and contend with thee for a time, and then contend with thee no more, very much like a GPS. If you own one, you've heard this before. You're going down the road, you're taking the way you need to go, and suddenly you miss a turn or something, and it will say to you, when possible, make a U-turn. When possible, make a U-turn. When possible, make a U-turn. And if you don't, it'll say, recalculating, and it'll find a new way for you to still get to where you want to go. It contends with you for a time, and then it contends no more. It says, oh, well, okay, we're going another way, and I will create this way, and we'll go that way. Spirit does the same thing inside each and every one of us. We're going along on our spiritual path, and suddenly our ego gets involved and takes over. And we say to ourselves, you know, I think I'm spiritual enough now. I think I got it. I think this is where I need to be, and I think what I need now is, and we create a new way to get to our highest good. A way that we think is the most important. We start on that, and Spirit says, when possible, make a U-turn. When possible, get back on the track that you were on. When possible, and when we continue on down our personal road, Spirit says, recalculating, creates a new path for our highest good to occur for us. Always keeping us on track, no matter where we go, even helping us when we are our own greatest enemy in reaching this spiritual height. What we do from all this getting still and everything is we gain a peaceful stature. We gain this. We reach a place inside ourselves where we're not aware of it, but other people are. And they come to us and they'll say, what's changed? What's changed in you? You're more peaceful than you used to be. You seem much more soft than you once were. How did this occur? What happened? I just started being still, going within. I started doing nothing and enjoying doing nothing. Being still, being peaceful. Gaining and allowing the spirit within myself to mature. Allowing it to become active, an active part of my own thinking and my actions in my life. When we can do those things, when we can get our priorities straight, when we can start using positivity in our reactions and our interactions with other people, when we can start allowing ourselves to be full of stamina and vigor, getting plenty of sleep and rest and doing all things necessary to lead this life, then we help do what is the main goal. What is the main goal? Why, it's God's plan succeeds. God's plan unfolds and succeeds. So use your inner GPS, your inner guidance. Use that. Use that, and you too will start going places spiritually, and God's plan will succeed.